Tom Lynch is a lock for round one. Adam Uze has said exactly that to afl.com.au tonight, which is exciting times. Obviously, he had that bit of a setback with the concussion. He won't go to West Coast this week to play in the match sim, but is looking to play in the Collingwood game the following week, which is the proper official one, and then obviously leading to round one up against Carlton. So it is absolutely no secret that Tom Lynch is ultra important to our side, and without wanting to pin all of the hopes and dreams on one player, but I don't think it's any secret and surprise if we were to say that Tom Lynch playing really makes or breaks us in terms of how much we progress. Obviously, we're not expecting to win 10 games, but if he can play 16, 17, 18 games, then I think that gives us a really good chance to win, maybe it's 4, 5 or 6 games, who knows? But there's no denying that last year he was a massive missing piece of the puzzle. We were an absolute shambles up forward without him. Our ball movement from transitioning from defense to offense, it just broke down something fierce when it got to the halfway point on the ground, and we had next to no targets. As much as I love and respect what Lafau did, what Bauer did at times, I know Kazitsky was down there at times, Bolter was down there at times, it just seemed like a forever revolving door of forwards. Unfortunately, they just didn't have that same... they didn't have that same grunt and work power and demand that attention that Tom Lynch does. So very, very good news to hear about Tom Lynch setting his eyes firmly on round one and will be available all things going well. With that, it ties into a little bit of what we put out on the other video and said on the show the other night about Ben Serpell being one of the biggest recruits for our club this year, who heads up the fitness and conditioning. When you have a look at the Geelong Football Club, where Serpell was from before we got him, he was there for 3 years. You look at how well that they were able to keep Dangerfield on the park, how well they were able to keep Hawkins and Selwood, players like this. They're able to sort of keep getting games into them. They maybe managed them for a couple of rests here and there, but their longevity seemed to be on display during his time at the Cats. So hopefully this translates into our football club, and we can see 16, 17 games plus from Lynch, Prestia, Hopper, Broad, players like that, because it's going to be pivotal to leading this young club forward. I know we've said it before, but these guys are now the teachers who need to be passing on all the wealth of knowledge and wisdom to this young brigade. And yeah, the success of our football club in the next 1 or 2 years really does sort of depend on how many games these guys play, because they do have to carry a bit of the load still. But yeah, very exciting to hear about Tom Lynch for round one. The other good bit of news that came out tonight is that Sammy Lawler is indeed lining up for the Tigers against West Coast. So he will be unveiled over there for the match sim. And very, very pleasing to see that Uze said that despite easing him into training, given that he had that injury, the hamstring injury, they had to go through some proper scans. He obviously hasn't done a full football pre-season before because of his cricketing. So this is his first real big footy pre-season. So they did manage him a lot more cautiously earlier on in the year. But very glad to hear and see that Uze's mentioned that he's done absolutely everything that's been required of him post-Christmas, and that when he trains with a real intensity. And above all else, as Uze said, he is a man. He is in a man's body ready to go. He is built. And it looks like he's kind of shredded down some of that, they want to call it puppy fat, that the draftees usually have. He is looking ripped. So we're all going to be very excited to see Sammy Lawler line up for the Tigers against the Eagles, albeit match sim. Josh Smiley's another one who's not too far away. He obviously had that hamstring injury before Christmas. They're being, again, conservative with their approach, which is completely fine. He won't play against the Eagles, but he is eyeing off a Collingwood match sim game. And who knows from there? Maybe he does enough to get into the selection calculations for round one. It's a little bit of a shame because I think prior to the hamstring injury pre-Christmas, he was probably almost firm favourite to make a debut in round one, even maybe ahead of Lawler. But he's probably, come back into the pack a little bit. Hopefully we see that come out, though. In other news as well, Ryan Mansell was on Dwayne Russell's show, I think, on a podcast today. And he had mentioned that Harry Armstrong is another one who's training really, really well, and he hopes to see make a debut early. So a couple of young players' names putting their hand up for selection. I'm guessing we're going to see Harry Armstrong over in Perth on Monday. And we're not going to see an experienced forward, so it's going to be fascinating to see how he goes playing over there. But a couple of young kids to keep our eye out for, and obviously Tom Lynch with a very good clean bill of health bar the concussion. Love to hear it, and hopefully we can see him play well against Collingwood and then into round one. That's the video for tonight. Nice and short and sweet. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Tiger content, and I'll see you for the next one. Go Tigers!